Well, after a relatively quiet week last week, another big storm system moves across the U.S., bringing several days of active weather, from rain to snow to several severe weather outbreaks. So the storm system from the weekend that affected the upper Midwest and many areas of the country continues to slowly move across eastern Canada, but we're watching this big upper level low hitting the Pacific coast, and already out ahead of it, moisture is developing across the Rockies. This will be the first volley of moisture moving through the upper Midwest mainly tonight, and we've got several rounds of moisture ahead here through the week, and all coming well. Rivers are flooding in the upper Midwest. They saw a rapid melt last week there of some deep snow, but also high rivers in the south too, across parts of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So this system, in addition to all the other things it'll be bringing, we're talking about a lot of water content right where you don't want it, in the south and in the upper Midwest, where those river levels are high. And of course, along Mississippi, all this water is eventually headed that way. So we're gonna see some high river levels here probably through the spring as a result of this just continued active pattern. And we're gonna see more snow too on the north end of things. Classic spring storm yet again, though each time these snowfalls are a little farther and farther north, so a sign of spring. But northern Minnesota, UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, North Dakota, we'll be seeing significant snow possible in some spots. So the day one severe weather outlook for Tuesday night, primarily a marginal risk of severe weather. We're mainly looking at a few isolated storms with some large hail, maybe some wind gusts, but that does extend into southwestern Minnesota. These storms will be elevated tonight, meaning they're not surface-based storms because you don't have a lot of moisture yet. So those storms form in the middle of the atmosphere. So just enough energy for some rumbles of thunder and some hail. But tomorrow, that moisture starts to migrate further northward, gets deeper. So we are talking about a better chance of more active weather here as far as severe weather goes Wednesday and Thursday. So dew points today, again, not quite reaching into the area of greatest concern yet tonight, but tomorrow we've got those deep, muggy dew points all the way into Iowa, combined with some of the upper level dynamics, some of that shear coming out of the Rockies, and that's going to create more organized storms, it looks like, Wednesday night and then again on Thursday. So at least a few days of severe weather, but we might have some severe weather here each day this week, really. So the day two outlook gets a little more impressive. Still only talking a slight risk though, from Iowa down into Oklahoma. We're looking at really a potential large hail threat, but also the wind, and we start to see a little bit better chance of maybe some isolated tornadoes. We're not talking major outbreaks. Again, the shear doesn't quite catch up with, nor does the moisture quite catch up with where things are happening tonight. But tomorrow, we start to see the shear move into the area that we'll start to see the deep moisture, some of that development. So again, some storms get organized here late Wednesday, and then especially Thursday, as that jet stream really starts to dive further south, we could see some stronger storms again. So that significant tornado parameter tomorrow does start to light up more here across Kansas and Oklahoma. So we'll be watching for some of those storms, a few of which could turn tornadic here. But tonight, these storms are all elevated in nature. It's that warmer air aloft moving up and over the colder air, producing that widespread area of thunder, and then stronger storms developing Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa tomorrow evening, and then along the cold front as we head into Thursday, that day three outlook. But there are some differences where the storms develop. Some of our models produce it in Iowa, some produce it a little further south and west towards maybe Omaha and Kansas for that Wednesday evening development. So where those storms develop will matter in terms of how tornadic they may be or not. The more northern end storms may have less of a chance of becoming tornadic. And then as we head towards Thursday, as I mentioned, the cold front continues to sweep south. So will the risk of severe weather. We're talking about a slight risk here on Thursday into Thursday night as well across Arkansas into eastern Texas. So active weather kind of each day this week. We're not looking at really major tornadic outbreaks, but there is going to be severe weather and lots of moisture.